Welcome to the Charlevoix Stories Project, a continuation of the Charlevoix Oral Traditions Project. Today is June 8th, 2016, and we are at the Charlevoix Public Library in Charlevoix, Michigan. Today we are talking to June Riley, a longtime resident of Charlevoix. She's a member of the Fairbanks family who started a bakery here in the 1930s, I believe, and continued off and on until the 1970s. We'll be talking a little bit about the bakery, and we'll also be talking about her nephew, Chuck, who was a favorite son of Charlevoix and made his mark in athletics out in the world. And also we're going to focus a little on the Girl Scout program in the 1950s here in Charlevoix, because we know that she was the beloved leader of Troop 10. June, can you tell us a little bit about your mother and how she started her business in Traverse City?
Well, she was a single mother with 3 children, and she had to make a living. So she decided that she would bake. So she started a little bakery in her home on 13th Street. And we lived there, and she had her little front part of the house, that would have been the living room, set up as her store. So she had a chance to move downtown, on State Street, and run a big building there.
What was that building like that she was in then?
There were 2 stores, and then there were apartments upstairs. And we kind of lived in the back part of the bakery. The sleeping quarters were upstairs. Mm-hmm. She worked, that was what she did. And
did she rent out rooms upstairs also?
Yeah, there was two apartments upstairs, and she rented the apartments.
What was it that brought the family then to Charlevoix?
Well, Ronald and Grace went to Detroit, and when they came back, he was talking to a salesman at the bakery that my mother knew, and he said there was a bakery in Charlevoix. So he came up here and looked and started a bakery.
Now, when you say Ronald and Grace, you mean your brother and his wife?
Ronald, my brother. Mm-hmm.
Did your mother come up also at the same time?
Not at the same time, but shortly after that, my mother and I moved up here. My brother Leo stayed in Traverse City and went to school. Then he came up here and finished school here in Charlevoix.
So you said your brother bought the bakery from the McCanns.
No. He had to close it because his wife had passed away. He couldn't run it alone. Mm-hmm. So he closed the bakery. And then Ronald started in another spot.
Oh, yeah. Where was that? What spot was he in?
Where Terry's is, the fish.
Oh, the fish and chips at Terry's place?
Uh-huh.
And did you live up above the store?
No, we didn't. Well, he wasn't in that building very long. Then he moved to another little place, a house, where the telephone company is now. I guess it's still there. So we lived there, and my mother and I came up here and lived with Ronald and Grace. Mother worked.
Was that in the mid-1930s?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. 33, 34.
Okay. So that would have been during the Depression.
Well, I guess so. We didn't know there was a depression. I didn't know there was a depression.
Because there was always enough bread to eat, right?
Yeah, there was always. We didn't go hungry at all.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Was there a problem with the fact that I would suspect things were busy for him in the summer, but pretty lean in the wintertime?
Oh, yeah.
What was the impact of the summer resort people on his business?
Well, it helped to stay in business. I didn't know anything about the business part of the bakery anyway.
Did he have just what we think of as home equipment, or did he have the heavy-duty baker's equipment?
Oh, yeah, it's bakery equipment, Yeah. Big mixers, ovens, 2 big ovens, frying, did a lot of frying, big frying equipment. To make the fried cakes and that. And he did a lot of decorating. He was a good decorator.
Did he sell mainly through the front of the store, or did he also sell to like restaurants in the
Well,
area?
yes, if they wanted, yeah, he'd sell to restaurants too. Not so much here, but after he moved to Grand Rapids, took the bakery, bought the bakery down there. He did a lot of that business for restaurants and things.
So, did you work with him then, with Ron, when, like in the 30s and the 40s, when his business was here?
Yeah, I clerked in the store and did dishes, cleaned.
So, Ronald moved then to Grand Rapids and started Fairbanks Pastry in Grand Rapids. But I know your brother Leo also operated a bakery here in town.
But he moved to Grand Rapids. When Ronald moved to Grand Rapids, and he worked for Ronald in Grand Rapids.
Did he eventually move back here?
Yes.
And
started the bakery here.
would that have been in the 1950s?
No, 60s, I think.
Mm-hmm.
As I recall. I went to work for him then.
Was his business located by Central Drugs?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And I think that had been Gike's candy store, perhaps, at one time?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't remember.
What brought Leo back to town when he came back in the 60s and reopened the bakery?
Well, he wanted a business of his own.
Mm-hmm.
So
I found information in my research that said that the Smith family had a bakery here where they were selling a dozen Long Johns for 48 cents at that time. In the I think that was in the 1950s. Can you remember much about the pricing and the amount of baked goods that went through the door?
I think a Long John was like 6 cents, maybe 5 cents, 6 cents. Bread was 10 cents a loaf or 3 for a quarter.
Was that when Ron first started the business,
Yeah.
or was that later?
That was even when Leo had the bakery. I didn't work in the store much when Leo had the bakery.
I remember him being famous for animals that he had in the front of his shop. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Well, he would make all kinds of animals. Fish, a lot of fish. He was real good at that.
What did he make them out of?
Bread dough. Used bread dough and just worked it like you would putty.
Uh-huh.
He did a lot of that. He enjoyed that.
How did he get his work crew? Who did he have working for him, like as his night bakers and his day help?
Well, a man that worked for Ronald in Grand Rapids came to Charlevoix and worked for Leo. So that he had that, and he had a lot of kids work for him. I didn't know the kids. I wasn't there when they were there.
You were home raising your own kids,
Yeah.
I'll bet.
Well, no, I went to work for Leo when the girls were old enough to do.
Now, Ron's son, Chuck, was raised here in Charlevoix,
Yes.
and he graduated, I believe, in 1951 from Charlevoix High School. He was an athlete of football and a track star
Basketball,
and basketball. He went on to college. Where did he go?
Michigan State.
And was he a scholarship student there?
I would think so. I don't know.
Uh-huh.
I'm sure he got a scholarship.
Do you remember much about him playing football for Michigan State?
We went to a few games. It was just the excitement of going to the games and
Hmm.
watching the games, of course. That was fun.
Was he a member of the 1952 national title team for football? When Michigan State won that title?
Oh, yeah, yeah. He was out there. Mhm.
And then what did he do after he got out of college?
He got a job in Upper Peninsula coaching there. Can't think of the name of the town right now. Do you have that? No?
All I remember is it begins with the letter O.
I'll think of it, but just slipped my mind right now.
And how did they then get into the college coaching?
He was approached to Arizona State.
Was he maybe an assistant coach at Arizona State and then at Houston?
Well, yeah, I think so.
And then he went on to Oklahoma, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Can you remember much about his career there at Oklahoma?
Well, he did very well.
I think his record was 52 wins and 15 losses and a tie. So very, very well. Were you a big football fan at that time?
Oh, yeah. I remember that Charles called Coach Kipke at different times and talked to him about coaching too.
Oh.
So he kind of helped, they talked.
Uh-huh.
So that was nice.
Oh, I'm sure it was.
Mm-hmm.
And then after Oklahoma, he went on to coach, I think, the New England Patriots.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was nice.
Do you remember much about that?
Well, I do, but it was just his job, and he did a good job, and we were proud of him, of course.
Were you able to go out to any of the games to watch him coach?
We went to Wisconsin one time and watched a game over there that he was coaching, but we didn't go, that's quite a ways away.
Did you watch him on television?
I didn't see any on television.
Okay.
I don't think so.
I remember when he was just a boy, didn't he have a gang, a boys' gang here in Charlevoix?
Oh, yes.
What were they called?
Green Hornet. He had a green panel truck that he took the kids in.
Now, was he living with you then?
Yes.
Because after his dad, Ron, went to Grand Rapids with the bakery, Chuck lived with you and your family
Yes.
for how long? How long did he?
2 years.
For 2 years?
Mm-hmm.
It must have been interesting to have him and running a boys' gang in the summertime, and all of the interesting things that must have been going on at that point.
In the summertime, I think he stayed out Oyster Bay with his mother and father. They had a cottage out there. He married right after he graduated from high school, so. And they went to Lansing.
If we could go back a little bit to Ron, something that I found interesting when I was researching was that he was a founding member of the Rocking Chair Hunters of Beaver Island. Do you remember anything about that?
No, I don't. I know that they all went over to the island. I don't know if they did any hunting or not.
Who were some of the people in that group?
Oh, I don't know who they were. I don't remember who.
Maybe
they were.
Dr. Saltonstall?
Yeah, he was. I know that. Ronald did all the cooking. I don't know where they stayed or anything about it.
Mm-hmm. But it was a group of Charlevoix businessmen, I
Yes,
think, that
I
would go
think
over
so.
there and enjoy themselves
Few
for
days.
a few days. Do you remember anything else about the bakery that you would like to share with us?
When Leo came back, well, then I did all the decorating. I did a lot of, and made all the cookies and the pies, cakes.
Did you do wedding cakes?
Oh, yeah. Oh, lots of wedding cakes. That's fun.
What made it fun?
It was just putting something together and having it look nice when it's through. Artistic talent I had.
How did you learn that?
I just did it.
Just practice?
Oh, I didn't practice, I just did it. And later on, I had books that I could read and look at. So.
Uh-huh. Did you make the cakes yourself, or
Yeah.
did Leo do that? You made the cakes?
Mhm, I made them.
And the frosting?
Yeah.
And the brides came in and decided what they
Okay.
wanted their
Oh,
cake to look like?
Yeah. Mm.
Did you ever do any really, really big ones?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Some would serve 200 people or so.
Oh, my
So,
goodness.
Huge cakes.
How did you move them from the bakery to the location?
Oh, Leo you just had to carry them.
Did you start them off on boards, on
Oh,
heavy
yeah, we didn't
boards?
put them on a board. Mhm.
Mhm.
Had to.
I hope you put a little sign on them that said "Decorated by June
Well,
Riley."
I should have.
Did you take pictures of any of them?
Some of them.
Hmm.
I don't know what happened to them. Well, we had a book that we put them in, and the girls could come in and look through the book.
Uh-huh.
I remember that. I don't know what happened to the book.
You were a Girl Scout leader
Mm-hmm.
in the 1950s.
Mhm.
I know for sure. You were the leader of Troop 10.
Yeah,
And
Troop 10.
Troop 10. Yeah.
Wonder how they got that name.
I don't know, but they may, as they started new troops for the younger girls, they may have just added a number to the new troop. I'm not sure. Where did the funding come from?
I don't know. We didn't take any money from anybody.
Where were the meetings held?
City Hall, in the basement of the City Hall. That's where we had our meetings. And then we went to camp, and that was Camp Seagull.
Camp Seagull was, and I
Uh-huh.
think maybe Camp Charlevoix.
I-
Maybe 1 year at Camp Charlevoix.
We might have gone there.
Mhm. Do you remember any of the people that were associated with the camps, going to camp?
Aletha Arnold.
Was she the nurse,
She was a leader.
a leader?
Yeah, she was a leader.
Okay.
Um,
Joan,
Nelson.
what did she do?
Oh, she was always there. I don't know. They were.
Did she maybe do swimming?
She might have,
Mhm.
among other things. I don't know.
Yeah.
It was a lot to put one of those camps together. It's a lot.
You
Work.
know, I think there must have been, from going back and reading old couriers. It talked quite a bit about different women that were involved in that. Do you remember Mrs. Bleha? Was she a part of that?
Probably, but
And there must have been someone doing music. Maybe Mrs. Burns?
oh, yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's when we were at camp. She was there.
Yeah. And there were arts and crafts.
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember doing the lanyards?
Oh, my, yes. Then we made, somehow or that, a little disc that we would make designs on, like a butterfly or something.
Mm-hmm.
That was fun.
Do you remember teaching your girls to cook on top of a tin can?
Oh, goodness.
Can you talk about that? Can you explain?
We went up to, on the south side of town, in a vacant lot in the wintertime. Did this cooking on a little Bunsen burner or something. We take corrugated paper and put them in a tuna fish can,
Mm-hmm.
put oil, wax. Yeah, that's the way we cooked.
And then like a coffee can was
Oh, yeah.
put over the top of it. Do you remember what we cooked?
I can't remember now. Well, I don't know what we cooked.
I remember an egg.
An egg, that's right.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And then didn't we put dough on a stick?
Oh, I don't
Remember? We put a little bit of dough on a stick and shoved it over
I
the.
bet that was tasty.
I bet it was too. I remember you had your troop over at your house one time, and you made pizza.
Oh,
Do you remember doing that?
I don't remember that.
Well, you had one little girl in your group who had never had pizza before
Oh, my.
and came home so impressed
Oh.
that her
Well.
parents had to buy Appian Way pizza for years after that.
Oh, yeah, I remember that, making that dough.
Now, I know you had Troop 10, but did you have, because you had 4 daughters, did you have other girls of your own that you were the troop leader for?
No, no. Mm-mm. Just that one group is all I wanted.
You learned your lesson.
That was so much fun.
It was
It was
fun.
a joy to do that.
I think at that time there were probably 120 or 30 girls in the scouting program, one way or
That's
the other.
wonderful. Wasn't that great?
It was, yeah, it was. Do you remember the mother-daughter banquets in Charlevoix?
Oh, I forgot about that. I don't even remember how they. Wonder who put that on?
Was it part of scouting?
Probably. I don't know.
And do you remember the father-daughter banquets?
No, I don't. Belle? I don't remember that. Of course, I wasn't involved in that, I
You
guess.
couldn't get tipped to go, right? Your
I
husband
don't-
wouldn't take the girls, maybe.
Probably, I don't remember. I have to ask the girls.
Do you have other Charlevoix memories that you can think of, things that happened if you were 10 when you moved to Charlevoix? You must have graduated from high school and done lots of fun type of things in high school.
We just had a lot of fun.
What building was the high school when you were growing up?
Right on Mason Street.
Right here?
Yeah,
Where the library is?
yeah, right. I forgot where I was at. Yeah, we just lived across the street.
Was Mr. North a teacher here?
Yeah, he was the principal there. A superintendent or, yeah, I guess he was superintendent. Mr. Bingham was the principal.
Mr. Bingham was the principal then? Oh, okay. Mr. Kipke was the coach?
Well, yeah. He went away for a while and then he came back.
I remember a little bit about that. Uh-huh.
I forgot about that.
Who were some of the classmates of yours?
Ken Staley,
And he ran the
grocery store. His
here
dad had
in
the
town?
grocery store.
Okay.
Leona Bartlett, Leona Struthers Bartlett.
Okay. And what did her family do?
They had a
This-
farm,
this-
Struthers Farm, big farm out.
south of town, wasn't it? And she married a Bartlett?
Yeah. They had well, they're still in business.
Are they the
Well-
furniture store?
Yeah. They started out with doing carpeting, and I believe that's what. Then they went into the furniture business.
Who else do you remember in your class?
Mary Jane Ross.
Did you have dances in
Pardon?
high school? Did you have dances in high school?
Oh yeah, they would have. I don't know how come we had these dances all the time. That was. They had the juniors would put on a dance for the seniors, and the seniors would put on a dance for the juniors, and that's
The proms.
yeah, proms.
The proms.
That was.
Did you get all dressed up?
Oh yeah. I still have the dress that I wore to prom.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I for, my granddaughter put it on the other day.
Was it good to see it?
Oh, yeah, that was fun.
So, who did you go to the prom with? Who is your date?
I don't know. I don't remember. My mother made the dress for me, and it was blue and white striped and had a big collar on it, like a little sailor would be,
Mm-hmm.
with a button down the front. It's a cute dress.
It sounds lovely.
It was real cute.
That was
That
probably.
was before the one that I have now.
Was that during World War II?
Oh, no, it was before.
In the probably around 1938 or
Yeah,
39,
yeah, uh-huh.
in that
In
time
that
frame.
area,
Yeah.
yeah, 40.
Do you remember the young people in your age group having treasure hunts at?
Oh,
Do you remember those?
yeah, they used to get a group together and they'd travel all over looking for treasures, or there would be little clues that they had,
Mhm.
and then you had to figure out where the clue would lead you somewhere else. I never was very good at that.
They seem to have them on Sunday nights. I've read about those in the Charlevoix Courier.
Oh,
And it would tell who won and then where the next one would be the following
yeah,
week.
they do. I don't know who put those on. Was that through the school? I don't know.
I don't know either. No.
I don't remember.
Uh-uh. No.
Somebody had good ideas.
They did. Tell us about how you met your husband, Tip.
Was at a school dance.
But
Yeah.
was he a Charlevoix boy?
No. Those Petoskey boys came over to Charlevoix.
Oh, and you let those Petoskey boys in?
Yeah, they did. But after a while, they wouldn't let the outsiders come to the dance.
They stole too many Charlevoix girls away.
I don't know. Well, the East Jordan too, in Point City.
Yeah.
I suppose our fellows from Charlevoix went to those other schools' dances too.
Probably. Now, you married Tip and had the 4 girls. And then later, Tip was associated with American Mold, wasn't
Yes. He was a chief estimator. That's what he did.
he? And
That's the
American Mold, what did they make?
Ejector pins, where they would, and still the little round circle on a doll or something. Well, that's the pin that they made. Would just eject.
To push the plastic out of molds,
yeah,
probably.
that's what they did.
Right.
I think.
Who owned that company?
Quanstrom, Mr. Quanstrom. Mm-hmm.
Did they come from Ohio?
I thought Detroit, but I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't.
And that
Although
plant,
they used to call it the DMA, Detroit Motors or something like that.
was down on Ferry Avenue, wasn't
Yeah.
it?
Mhm. The building is still there.
Yeah. Was Van Raphorst the operating manager?
Oh, yes. Mm-hmm.
They lived in one of Earl Young's
Yeah.
houses, right on the corner
House in the
of.
corner there. Right
Yeah.
corner. Just,
Down the street here, Grant.
yeah, right, yeah. Janine
Janine
Wallace.
Wallace lives in that house. Yeah.
No, she does.
There were some good parties in that house.
Oh, I suppose.
Do you have any other memories of Charlevoix that you'd like to share with us?
Well, we used to go to the beach a lot. That was a lot of fun in the summertime. We spent a lot of time on the pier,
So you
jumping
went,
off the pier.
oh,
Yeah. I don't know if they're allowed to do that anymore.
no,
Probably not.
no.
And then they had the skating rink right here somewhere. I can't figure out where I'm at.
You're in what used to be the kindergarten room of the grade school.
Oh, now, yeah,
Mhm.
now I got myself.
It's Grant Street out here.
Yeah.
Mason Street.
Yeah, Mason Street's over here. That's where we lived over there.
So they had the skating rink when you were in high school?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Right.
Where did the music come from?
Didn't have any music. I don't remember any music. At the skating pond?
Uh-huh. Did they maybe put
I don't know.
something in a window of the
Well,
school? And
somebody might have, but I don't remember that.
was there a warming hut?
Oh, yes. That little stove in there. That was, go in and put your skates on there.
Mm-hmm. How did they flood that area of the school grounds to keep the ice?
I don't know. They must have had a hose that they.
Maybe the fire department?
No, I don't think so.
No?
No, I don't know. It was just there. We used it.
You're exactly right. It was always there.
Yeah,
And it was used for years
Oh,
and years
years,
and
mhm.
years.
yeah. I guess so.
Do you remember when Mount McSaba opened? When they first started skiing out at Mount McSaba?
I don't remember them skiing, but they used to have a toboggan out there. And we'd get on a toboggan and go down the hill. Walk out to the mountain
Uh-huh.
and walk home. In the dead of winter.
Yeah. Yeah. You're probably a little too young to remember when they used to flood the South Hill and have the toboggan run come right down the South Hill.
No, I don't remember that, but I know they did it.
Uh-huh.
We used to, on Dodgers Hill, they used to take a big toboggan and go on that. So that was really dangerous, but fun.
Good thing there weren't as many cars.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, we'd come down that hill, just sail down that hill.
Mm-hmm.
And they had one out to the mountain at one time. They would have this big toboggan, or bobsled, that's what it was, bobsled.
Mm-hmm.
We'd go on that.
Well, it sounds like you have lots of good memories of Charlevoix.
Oh, yeah.
Lots of good memories of your family being in Charlevoix, both the Rileys and the Fairbanks. And I know you provided lots of good memories for many, many children here in Charlevoix. So thank you for that.
You're welcome.
And we've enjoyed talking with you.
Been fun.